What's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 23 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best abilities you should be using right now on offense. Now, if you guys enjoy this video, if you like it, if it helps you out, make sure you go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Show us a lot of support on the channel, helps the videos get noticed. Also, if you're brand new here, you are searching on YouTube for Mut 23 content, whether it's how to make coins, how to get free players, how to build your ultimate team, you found the right channel for everything. Stay a while, click that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on as well so you guys are alerted when we drop additional videos. Let's get right on into it. So we're going to be using mut.gg, and this is a website you should be using as well. You can locate the best training rates on this website. You can look up players and all of their attributes, and for this reason you can look up the best abilities in the game and all the players who get these abilities at a discount. So we're going to focus on offense today. Either tomorrow or Wednesday we'll do a separate video on defense, and once that video has been created, we will link it down below in the comment section as a pinned comment, so make sure you check that one out. We're going to go from basically quarterback to halfback to offensive line to wide receiver and tight end and kind of that formation. So as far as quarterbacks go, there's basically 4 abilities that you can use. So number 1 is going to be Hot Route Master, but this is definitely a personal preference. If your offense relies on additional hot routes and you can get a quarterback that gets this for 2 or even 1 AP, actually nobody gets it for 2 AP. If you can get it for 2 or possibly 3 AP, this is a very good one. But again, it's really specific on your scheme. For me, I have Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback, and we do rock Hot Route Master on here because it saves me ability points that I was using on like Slot Apprentice and Wide Receiver Apprentice and Running Back Apprentice on some of my wide receivers. So that's going to be helpful. Tom Brady, Kurt Warner, Aaron Rodgers are the only QBs in the game right now that get it for 2 AP. But basically, Hot Route Master is going to give you 4 additional hot routes for each receiver, whether it's a tight end, a wide receiver, a running back. And like I said, with man coverage being so tough, if your scheme is going to kind of focus on beating man coverage, or the meta defenses, you know, having additional post routes and tight end angle routes and halfback Texas routes, things like that to beat man coverage, this can be very, very useful. When it comes to Fearless, it's tough for me to give advice on this one because I have not used it all year, but I know a lot of pros use it and a lot of people swear by it, and I don't think it's necessarily not a good ability. I've just made it this far without it that I'm not going to bother using it. So Fearless is going to give the passers who have this ability are going to be basically immune to throw penalties caused by defensive pressure. So the under pressure ability on defense was very meta and very good early in the year. You don't hear as many people talking about it, but you can still generate like pressure and accuracy throws without an ability on defense. And when your quarterback has pressure in their face, they may throw a very bad pass that could lead to an interception or just an incomplete pass in a certain situation. So if you could get Fearless for 1 or 2 AP, that's where a lot of people are using it. But again, me personally, I don't use it because I think I can get by with it. I've gotten by with it this far, so there's no reason to use it. Now, Gunslinger is not going to make our list for the best offensive abilities, but I do want to talk about it because it's not as good as it has been in years past. This year, it's going to speed up the throwing motion, but it doesn't give you that extra speedy velocity on the throws. And for that reason, you need to have at least Pass Lead Elite or Set Feet Lead on your quarterback at this point in the year, in my opinion. So Pass Lead Elite, passers with this ability have an increased throw power on bullet precision passes. The thing that's different between Pass Lead Elite and Set Feet Lead is in the title. You don't have to have your feet set for Pass Lead Elite. It's going to work on the run. It's going to be in and out of the pocket. It's pretty much more global and better. Now, there's a few quarterbacks that get it at a discount right now. Michael Vick, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Steve Young. If you have one of those quarterbacks, you definitely want to be utilizing the discounted AP. Otherwise, like paying 4 AP for it is a little bit too much. I would focus on quarterbacks with Set Feet Lead instead at that point. I mentioned earlier that I'm rocking Aaron Rodgers, and that's the other 2 AP that I'm using. So 2 on Hot Route Master and 2 for Set Feet Lead on Aaron Rodgers. And there's a lot more quarterbacks that get it at a discount. So passers with this ability have increased throw power on bullet precision passes made while their feet are set. So that's the biggest difference, like I said. But you see Brady, Elway, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jimmy G, RG3, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr. Like, there's a huge list of all of these quarterbacks that can get it at a 2 AP discount. Again, if you're not rocking pass lead elite, you need to have one of these QBs and get set feet lead for 2 AP. I'll be honest with you guys, I might not be the best person to listen to when it comes for advice on abilities you should be using on running backs. If you've watched me play on Twitch, I just don't like running the ball unless I absolutely have to. So my advice here is going to be a little slighted, but Backfield Master, of course, showing my bias towards passing the football, is a really, really good one. When lined up in the backfield, players with this ability have access to 4 additional hot routes, better route running, and improved catching. So 3 different things are affected within this ability. You get the extra hot routes, you're going to get good route running, which is going to help you get separation against man coverage, and they're going to catch the ball against linemen. Marcus Allen gets it for 1 AP. There's a bunch of other people that get it for 2, like Cordero Patterson, Christian McCaffrey, Shady, Nyheim Hines. You're seeing a lot of these receiving backs that are going to get it at a discount. Now, if you're rocking Hot Route Master, make sure you don't have this equipped, because it's kind of, you're double dipping with the extra hot routes and you're wasting AP at that point. I think Evasive is probably the only other running back ability that I think is worth it. Maybe Bulldozer if you have a power back and you want to run people over. But with Evasive, you're basically getting like juke moves and spins all in one ability. Ball carriers with this ability have stareable juke and spin animations. Deion Sanders, it's a cornerback card, but he does get it for 0 AP. Anytime you can put a free ability on your field and it doesn't take up a slot for an ability you want to be using, I would recommend it. Also, the 93 overall Barry Sanders, the all Madden card, 0 AP. Even if he's like your backup running back, only about 250K right now, to have it for free is definitely a W. We got LaDainian Tomlinson, Earl Campbell. These are newer running backs that have come out recently. Same thing with Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, CJ2K, and a lot of cards are inexpensive that can get this ability. If you're a runner, you're probably going to want to throw this one on, but otherwise I wouldn't waste it. At this point, Edge Protector on your right and left tackles is almost a must, especially if you're trying to play competitively, because a lot of people are out there rocking double or nothing and Edge Threat or even Edge Threat Elite, and you're going to need the Edge Protector ability to neutralize that. Now, if you're looking for players that get it for 1 AP, there's some pretty good budget options out there, like Jordan Mailata at left tackle. No Eagles bias there, 134K. He can get it for 1 AP. Tristan Wirfs, there's better right tackles out there than him, but he's still my right tackle because he's one of the few at that position that get it for 1 AP, and he's well under 100K. So just a word of advice, if you have one of these players, you want to throw that on there. Andrew Thomas is another really good budget option at left tackle. There's some more expensive options out there, but you need to put this on there, and if you can get it for 1 AP, that's going to make it even better. Secure Protector is another really good offensive line ability. Blockers with this ability reduce a rusher's chance of using quick block shed moves. So all in all, it's going to help you with your blocking, whether it's a run or a pass. Now, I wouldn't spend 2 AP on it, but if you have players that can get it for 1 AP, Larry Allen, who's a 49ers legend, we got Zach Martin, Jeff Saturday, Creed Humphrey. These are all players that get it for 1 AP. If you have some room on your offense for ability points and you have an offensive lineman that can get it for 1 AP, I would use it. As far as 2 AP, I'd probably stay away from it right now. There's a handful of people that get it, but as the year goes on, I think we'll see more people that get Secure Protector for 1 AP. Those are going to be the cards to look out for. 2 more offensive line abilities. One is going to be for runners, one is going to be for passers. The runners one is going to be Nasty Streak. Blockers with this ability will frequently attempt to win impact blocks against linebackers and defensive backs when playing as a lineman or a fullback. So Jason Kelsey, center card, all Madden card, the only one that gets it for 0 AP. I have it on my card that I have on my squad. Larry Allen, Zach Martin, Alan Faneca, Jonathan Ogden, just a few cards that are going to get it for 1 AP. But again, if you like to pass the ball, and you probably pass it more than I'd say 65% of the time, I would stay away from this ability. And on the flip side of that, post up is going to be best for passing the ball. Blockers with this ability are almost guaranteed to win any double team block that they are engaged in. So again, you see Jason Kelsey, Laren Allen, Alan Faneca, Jeff Saturday, a handful of the cards that are going to get that at a 1 AP discount. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend 2 AP. It's very similar to most of the offensive line abilities. If you can get them for 1 AP, they're worth it. If they're more than that, I would stay away. We have a ton of different abilities we can talk about when it comes to pass catchers like wide receivers and tight ends, and short and elite has been king pretty much from the start of the year all the way up until now. Receivers with this ability catch more consistently while catching passes less than 10 yards from the line of scrimmage and inside the numbers, but this one is broken, and it's been broken all year. It actually lights up outside of 10 yards as well, and that's why you see so many people rock it. That's why Steve Smith is still such a relevant card. He's not a tall receiver. He's like 5'9", 5'10", but he gets it for free, 0 AP, so a lot of people use this card for that reason. Same thing with Cooper Kupp, not the fastest wide receiver out there, but he gets that ability, and a lot of times abilities are more important than attributes at this point in the year. So if you can get short and elite on all three of your receivers and even a running back, it's certainly worth it. Darren Waller is a really good tight end that gets it for free. Breece Hall at running back's a great budget option. You see a ton of different running backs that are going to get it. Hunter Henry, Todd Heap, or some more like comp player friendly cards that people were using because of the 1 AP discount. Same thing with Jason Witten, and there's a handful of wide receivers that can get it. There's a huge list of people that get it for 1 AP. Now, along with short and elite is going to be the opposite, and that's going to be short out elite. Now, this ability wasn't popular and wasn't very useful until a couple days ago with the brand new patch and the updates to man coverage. You can tell by the price of Jalen Waddle. He's the only player out there that can get it for free, and Keith Jackson's the only other player that gets it at a discount. But look at that Jalen Waddle price. He went way up because he's a fast wide receiver that gets short out elite, and a lot of pros are using this right now because on streaks, stock streaks, it's beating man coverage, and then corner routes, post routes against man coverage when people are pressing. This one all of a sudden is starting to work very good. So you can read the description on it, but all you need to know is that this is going to be the next up ability, and you're going to see a lot of people using. Run off elite is an ability that I should have talked about when we were finishing up the offensive lineman, but if you have this one equipped, you read the advice from Huddle.gg. Instead of blocking the defensive back on an outside run, they basically run a streak, which pulls that defender back and gives you more running room on the field. If you can get it for 0 AP, and you see Jerry Rice can get it, Marvin Jones Jr., DK Metcalf, Deontay Johnson, it's absolutely worth it. I wouldn't spend any AP on it unless you guys are like, you like to run the ball a lot, but otherwise, if you can get it for free, I think DK Metcalf's a great example. This is a card that's a good wide receiver, and if you happen to mix in the running game with that a free ability, it's worth it. And I think we finish up with the apprentice abilities for wide receivers. So slot apprentice, wide receiver apprentice, outside apprentice, all pretty much do the same thing. It just depends on where they line up. Specifically with slot apprentice, when lined up in the slot, players with this ability have access to 4 additional hot routes. So this is another one, kind of like Hot Route Master. It all depends on your scheme. I mean, Art Monk's a really good example of a player that gets slot apprentice for 1 AP, also gets short in and short out elite for 1 AP as well. Like, that's a really good combination. So if you have him in the slot, whether you run a bunch and he's at the top of your bunch, or you run a tight formation, you can pretty much get any hot route at any spot in a tight formation. You're going to get the post routes, the corner routes, things like that are going to help you beat man coverage and just overall get more creative with your offensive formations and play calling. There's a ton of a ton of players that get slot apprentice for 1 AP, so you can certainly take advantage of that. Outside apprentice is going to be the same thing, but you have to be lined up outside, so that's going to be more for your trips formations or the single receiver in a bunch. And I don't, I run tight, so I don't really use outside apprentice or don't have a need for it at all, but you see a handful of players are going to get it for 1 AP as well. And then finally, you have wide receiver apprentice, which it doesn't matter where they're lined up, they're going to get the 4 additional hot routes. So the AKA Megatron was the first card to get it this year, and he was a taller, faster receiver that got that ability for 1 AP, made him extremely useful. Mike Williams, a Zero Chill LTD that skyrocketed in price. I mean, this card was like $450K a couple days ago, a bit too late to go out there and buy it, but he's another taller, faster receiver that can get that wide receiver apprentice for 1 AP. You see a bunch of people that get it for 2. So again, it all depends on your scheme, but I think those are the best abilities right now. This is your update for December that you should be using on offense, and we'll be back in a couple days or maybe tomorrow with the best abilities on defense. Let me know if there's any that I missed or ones that you're using that you think are really good. Leave it down below in the comment section, and thank you guys for watching the video. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.